Yay, die, la, la, die. Yay, die, la, la, die. Yay, die, la, 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 die. Ya, la, 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 die. Yay, die, la, la, die. Yay, die, la, la, die. Yay, die, la, 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 die. Ya, la, 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 die. Ya, la, la, die. La, 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 die. Yay, die, la, 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 die. Die, la, 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 die. Yay, die, ya, la, 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 die. La, 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 die. Yay, die, la, 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 die. La, 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 die. Ya, la, 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 die. Yay, die, la, la, die. Yay, die, la, la, die. Yay, die, la, 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 die. Ya, la, 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 die. Yay, die, la, la, die. Yay, die, la, la, die. Yay, die, la, 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 die. Ya, la, 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 die. Ya, la, la, die. Die, la, 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 die. Yay, die, ya, la, la, die. Yay, die, la, 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 die. Yay, die, ya, la, 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 die. Die, la, 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 die. Yay, die, ya, la, 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 die. Yay, la, 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 die. Ya, la, 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 die. Yay, die, la, la, die. Yay, die, la, la, die. Yay, die, la, 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 die. Ya, la, 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 die. Yay, la, 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 die. Yay, la, 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 die. Yay, la, 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 die. Ya, la, 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 die. Olam chesed yivande, ya la la, ya la, ya la 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 la. Olam chesed yivande, ya la la, ya la, ya la 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 la. Olam chesed yivande, ya la la, ya la, ya la 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 la. Yadadai, yadai, yadadadai. I will build this world from love. Yadadai, yadai, yadadadai. And you must build this world from love. Yadadai, yadai, yadadadai. And if we build this world from love, yadadai, yadai, yadadadai, then God will build this world from love. Yadadai, yadai, yadadadai. Olam chesed yimande. Yadadai, yadai, yadadadai. Olam chesed yimande. Yalalai, yalai, yalalalai.
Shabbat Shalom. So, I'm Dusty. I'm one of the rabbis here at Temple Beth El, and this is Patty Torsellini, who will be making our services much more beautiful this evening. And I want to welcome all of you who are here with us in person, all of you joining via the power of the internet. As we know, Shabbat happens in all sorts of locations and looks different for everyone. So 2 weeks ago, I brought in Shabbat with 10 of our 11th and 12th graders at Emory Hillel in Atlanta. And last Friday, I was in Johnson Hall at YMCA Camp Thunderbird wrangling 50 4th to 6th graders who entirely of their own accord began Shabbat services with an impromptu chanting of, we will rock you. So, camp is a phenomenal place to play with prayer, and I'm really, really grateful to be with all of you for a different kind of service tonight. And it means that this is the first service that I have been in the sanctuary where masks are encouraged and possible but not required, which means I can see some of your faces for the first time in more than 2 years. And I'm having a hard time concentrating on what I'm supposed to be doing right now because it's just really good to see your faces. I'm glad you're here. We're going to begin tonight with candle lighting and Kiddush, and I'm going to invite Mark and Sue Hummel to join me on the bima because I'm also going to give them a blessing as part of all of this. You don't get to know what the blessing is until after we light the candles, though. Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat. We continue making this day holy with the words of Kiddush. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav, v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho, v'ahava uvratzon, hinchilanu, zikaron lema'aseh v'reshit, ki hu yom techila, lemikra kodesh, zecher litziat, Mitzrayim, ki vanu v'acharta, ve'otanu kidashta, mikol ha'amim, ve'shabbat kodshecha, ve'ahava uvratzon, hinchaltanu, Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. L'chaim. So this morning, as I searched my files for the notes I took a couple of days ago while on the phone with you, I ran across the blessing that you received 5 years ago on your 30th anniversary, which really highlighted just how much has happened in these past 5 years. There have been some true moments of despair and loss, and some incredible moments of simcha, including multiple weddings, not of yours, you stayed married, there's just been more of them, and the arrival of your first grandchild. So I want you to take a moment and close your eyes. You can all do this too. And think about where you were in 2017, 5 years ago. What a great deal of life we have all lived since then. So, in honor of that lived life and in celebration of this newest milestone, we offer you this blessing. Mekor ha'ahava, source of love, the one who calls us to count our years and make our years count. Bless Mark and Sue Hummel as they count 40 years of love and 35 years of marriage. Even as they move into this newest phase of life together as brand new grandparents with adult children who are building families of their own, help them remember the beginnings of their own love. Campus parties during college, late night calls on the corded, attached to the wall phone when the per minute rates were lowest, and dinners cooked in apartment toaster ovens. God, these past few years have brought Mark and Sue even closer. When we last asked for your blessing, Mark and Sue, your identities as parents were at the center. Loving parents who focused on partnering with each other and being present with your children, intent on passing along that love and steadfast commitment to family. Adonai, Stephen, Brian, and Zach, and their spouses and partners too, are still at the absolute core of Mark and Sue's lives. And we thank you for the blessing of family. And Sue and Mark have also, more recently, been blessed with something new. unexpected time. Time to lean into the quiet of Shabbat, to take long walks holding hands, to sit together for lunch in the middle of the work week. Timeless One, continue to bless them with time and space. Bless them with health, patience, and energy as they grow into their new role as grandparents. And may they continue to glow with pride as they watch their children move further and further into adulthood themselves, taking on their own sorrows and joys with compassion and confidence. Ken Yehiratson, may this be God's will. And Mazel Tov. I almost ended this blessing with, and may they always continue to hold hands, but then they just did it without me saying anything. So we take a moment to also think of the moments of simcha in our own last week, and those could be as small or as big as they might feel to you. So if anyone has celebrated a birthday or an anniversary, or someone in your life has celebrated a birthday or an anniversary, or something entirely normal but amazing for you has been important this last week, I invite you to take a moment and share with us that moment so we can all celebrate it together. And while you're thinking, if you are joining us via the world of technology, my email address, rabbi, R-A-B-B-I, class, K-L-A-S-S, @templebethel.org. Email me your moment, and I promise I will respond with a woo or something else, as long as it's wooable. If it's not something I should woo, I won't do that. Okay. Andrea. Lily and Bianca have entered the world. Mazel tov. Amazing. Any other moments to share? You have an anniversary too. What do we want to know years? 41. That's a lot of years. It's pretty amazing. Any other moments to celebrate in community today? For all those and whatever it is you may be holding on to internally, we'll offer together the words of Shehechianu.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kimanu v'hekianu lazman hazeh.
This Shabbat marks the beginning of our foray into every bar and bat mitzvah's favorite section of the Torah. The book of Vayikra is full of bodily fluids and detailed description of animal sacrifice. Makes for some great conversation with almost 13-year-olds. Yet the magic of Torah manages to shine through even the bloodiest entrailed-filled sections of Torah. Early in this week's portion, we read, "The sons of Aaron the Kohen shall put fire on the altar and lay out wood upon the fire." Now, having just spent the weekend at camp, I can tell you with quite a bit of certainty, and fire maven Janice, who is here with us tonight, can confirm this is not how building a fire works. The wood comes first, then the fire. And only if you have the skills and tools to translate that first spark into a flame. So our sages asked this same question. How is it that the sons of Aaron are commanded to put fire on the altar and then wood on the fire? And we find in the midrashim that they offered that the fire on the altar possessed many qualities. It made no smoke and burned unfailingly from the time of Moses all the way to the time of King Manasseh, like thousands of years later. It was only when Aaron and his sons added their own human-made flame, along with the appropriate sacrificial elements of flour or oil or an animal, that smoke rose from the altar, a visual representation of the movement of the people's offerings up to God. Avodah, the work of service or sacrifice, the act of offering something up, of communicating with God, looks different in modernity. It looks like this, right here, right now. Avodah shebalev, service of the heart. Prayer is not always easy or simple. We're distractible. The words on the page or the screen do not always resonate. And most of us are not deeply ensconced in the Hebrew language. And so in light of all our sages teach about the perpetual fire of the altar of old, Cantor David Berger offers a translation of that teaching into modernity. When we gather for prayer, we join together our internal flames with eternal flame, that ever-burning fire represented by the Ner Tamid above our ark. We are never starting from scratch. We just have to get still enough to feel the warmth of the flicker of light that is always present, waiting to warm and brighten our own internal light. And when we get proximal enough to each other to join our lights together, those lights grow. And soon enough, we have built a beautiful prayer bonfire that brightens not only our faces and the faces of those around us, but expands outward even further, someday perhaps to the whole world. We began by kindling light together, and we continue building up that bonfire by welcoming in the Sabbath bride with the words of Lecha Dodi.
Lecha Dodi likrat alai alalai 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 B'nei Shabbat Lecha benai Lecha Dodi likrat alai alalai 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 B'nei Shabbat Lecha benai Shamor bezachor bedibor echad Hishmianu el chameyuchad Adonai echad Shemo echad Shem utiferet litila Lecha Dodi likrat kalai Yaladai 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 B'nei Shabbat Lecha benai Lecha Dodi likrat kalai Yaladai 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 B'nei Shabbat Lecha benai Likrat Shabbat Lechu v'nelcha Ki mekor habaraka Merush Nikedem Nesucha Sof Ma'aseh B'machshev Achila Lecha Dodi likrat kalai Yaladai 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 B'nei Shabbat Lecha benai Lecha Dodi likrat likrat kala yalalai b'nei Shabbat dekabela hitoreri kiva ore uri shirda meri kivod Adonai alachila lechadodi likrat kala yalalai b'nei Shabbat dekabela lechadodi likrat kala yalalai b'nei Shabbat dekabela boi v'shalom ateret bala ngam b'simcha uve'tola toch emudei am segula boi kala lechadodi likrat kala yalalai b'nei Shabbat dekabela lechadodi likrat kala yalalai b'nei Shabbat dekabela yalalai Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Borehu et Adonai Hamevorach Baruch Adonai Hamevorach Le'olam Va'ed.
O God, you are as near to us as the very air we breathe, yet farther than the farthermost star. We yearn to reach you. We seek the light and warmth of your presence. Though we say you are near, we feel lonely and alone. Let our desire be so strong that it will tear the veil that keeps you from our sight. Open our eyes and let your light release our darkness and reveal the glory and joy of your presence.
Open up your eyes, teach us how to live, fill our hearts with joy and all the love you have to give. Gather us in peace as you lead us to your name, and we will know that you are one. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בעם בשבתך בביתך ולכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Continue with the words. We continue with the words of Mi Chamocha.
מי כמוך באב עם אדוני, מי כמוך נעדר בקודש, נורא תהילות עושה פלא, נורא תהילות עושה פלא. מלכותך ובנך בוקע לפני משמרים, זה לי אנו ועמהו, זה לי ועמהו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. ונאמר כי טוב אדוני וידוע אחד ממנו ברוך אתה אדוני.
In the first week of the Russian invasion into Ukraine, artist and author Mary Andrews' poignant words circulated the internet. She writes, "I am washing my face before bed while a country is on fire. It feels dumb to wash my face, and dumb not to. It has never been this way, and it has always been this way. Someone has always clinked a cocktail glass in one hemisphere as someone loses a home in another, while someone falls in love in one apartment building where someone else grieves. The fact that suffering, mundanity, and beauty coincide is unbearable and remarkable." So we offer the words of Hashkivenu tonight. We pray both for our own peace and for all those in Ukraine and so many other people in our world for whom shelter and peace feel unimaginably distant.
Hashivenu Adonai Eloheinu L'shalom, L'shalom V'ha'amidenu Shoreinu V'ha'im Ufros Aleinu Sukat Shlomecha Ufros Aleinu Sukat Shlomecha shelter us beneath your wings. Oh, Adonai, guide us from all harmful things. Oh, Adonai, keep us safe throughout the night, till we wake with morning's light. Teach us, God, wrong from right. Amen. 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 Amen.
In a moment, we will pray the words of Vishamru, our weekly reminder to keep and guard Shabbat, and continue from there into the Amidah, the center of the arc of our service. We have been building our prayer bonfire together, and now we each have a chance to decide for ourselves. What have we been building toward? Have you brought something with you tonight you would like to leave on this metaphorical altar? Something you'd like to burn up, a frustration or regret from the week? Is there something for which you wish forgiveness? Perhaps you come in gratitude or humility or pride. Maybe you're here simply to bear witness to the flames. Take a moment and place your intention, your kavanah, at the center of your internal focus. Continue with the words of Vishamru.
Vishamru b'nei Yisroel et HaShabbat, et HaShabbat לעשות, et HaShabbat לדורותם בריתונם. ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם, כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. יאי לי לי לי
Avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Velohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Velohei Leah. Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor V'Hanura, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei Hakol, V'zocher Chasdei Avot V'imahot, U'mevi Geula Livnei V'neihem, Lema'an Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen, Baruch Atah Adonai, Magid Abraham ve'Ezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayei hakol Atah Rav le'Hoshia, Mashiv haruach u'morid hagashem, Mechalkel chayim bechesed, Mechayei hakol berachamim rabim, Somech noflim verofech holim, umatir asurim, kayem emunato lishenei afar. Micha mocha ba'al gevurot, umido melach, melech memid umchayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman atah hachayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayei hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, U'kadoshim b'hoyom yehalucha selah, Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el hakadosh. You are holy, your name is holy, and those who are holy praise you every day. Blessed are you, Adonai, the holy God. You may be seated. Rabbi Abahu said, when the Holy One gave the Torah, no bird cried out, no fowl flew, no ox bellowed. The angels did not move. The seraphim did not say, holy, holy, holy. The sea did not stir. The creatures did not speak. The whole world fell into a total silence. As I spoke about during the High Holy Days this year, building fires requires attention to the spaces in between as much as to the wood. This bonfire we are building tonight requires both the fuel of our spoken prayer and the spaces in between. Space for silence. Space to let our souls offer whatever wordless prayer we most need tonight. Sometimes, as the poem reads, a fire grows simply because the space is there, with openings in which the flame that knows just how it wants to burn can find its way. We continue in silence, creating space for our flame to find its way.
Al Yisroel Amcha Tasim Leolam Shalom Ahab Al Yisroel Amcha Tasim Leolam Ki Atahu Melech Adon Lechol Hashalom Ki Atahu Melech Adon Lechol Hashalom Shalom Raham Al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam Shalom Raham Al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam V'tov be'enecha levared et Amcha Yisroel V'holet lehoshea Bishlomecha Shalom Raham Yisroel Amcha Tasim Leolam Shalom Raham Yisroel Amcha Tasim Leolam Baruch atah Adonai Hamivorech et Amo Yisroel Bashalom.
I made the mistake of doom scrolling a few hours ago as I was preparing for services. For those of you who may not be as familiar, doom scrolling is the act of skimming any variety of social media or news platforms, landing for just long enough on particular headlines or in comments sections to become convinced that the world and everyone in it is beyond repair. The painful truth about bonfires is that they can be as dangerous as they are beautiful. What a blessing, then, to have the opportunity to pray for healing when we realize and recognize the burned places in our world. Mishaberach lecholim, our prayer for healing, is the perfect antidote to doom scrolling. It is our aloe vera, a prayer for soothing and repair, for wholeness and hope. And so we take a moment to call to mind all those in our lives and in our world whose souls, hearts, or bodies are in pain. I invite you to share those names aloud now as I pass my eyes around the room and meet yours. For all those names and those we hold in our hearts, we continue together with the words of Mishaberach.
To make our lives a blessing and let us say Amen. Mishebeira imotenu
just as we pray for ourselves and each other to be whole, we pray for our world to be whole. And as we prepare to rise for Aleinu, I'll offer a middle part of the prayer that we don't always offer together as a group, but have begun sometimes to offer. Let the time not be distant, O God, when all shall turn to you in love, when corruption and evil shall give way to integrity and goodness, when superstition shall no longer enslave the mind, nor idolatry blind the eye. O may all created in your image become one in spirit and one in friendship, forever united in your service. Al kain nekaveh lecha Adonai Eloheinu, lirot meheira b'tiferet uzecha, l'takein olam b'malchut shaddai. Adonai our God, how soon we hope to behold the perfection of our world, guided by a sacred covenant, drawn from human and divine meeting.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, latet gedula leotzer breshit, shelo asanu kegoye haratzot, velo samanu kemishpechot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, begor aleinu kechol hamonam. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד. You may be seated. We take time in each service to honor and remember and speak aloud the names of those who have died at this time and in years past. And in doing so, we bring all that their name brings into our lives, and they continue to be part of who we are and how we act in the world. And in that way, we all live on in each other. As I call the name of your loved one, I invite you to rise. In the period of Shloshim, the first 30 days of mourning, for Joshua Emil Blier, Robert J. Gentile, Harriet Honey Kreidel, and Mona A. Lieberman. We remember on their yahrzeit the anniversary of their death: Leo Aft, Lena Babenko, Marilyn Bergman, Pearl Bernstein, Dorothy Biederman, Erwin Bogorad, Robert Sharon, Sol Cohen, John Darker, Herbert Drucker, Pauline Dworkin, Celia Feldman, Martin Fisher, Ellie Frankel, Abraham Galender, Pearl C. Gold, Howard Samuel Goldstein, Ronnie Goldstein, Dorothy Gordon, Archie Grossman, Jack Hambury, Max Herman, Alvin S. Horowitz, Sadie Josephs, Myra Kanarek, Mark Katz, Irene Kosowitz, Stuart Larrick, Anita Lerner, Howard Levine, Julius Levine, Sam Lewis, Elsie Liss, Sylvia Meisler Marcus, Max Markel, Leona Markowitz, Samuel Marks, Dorothy Myers, Michael Monis, Elaine Orland, Seymour and Packman, Jean Pardo, Milton Pat, Minnie K. Perlman, Bronislava Pinkney, Albert Rankel, Winnie Ingram Richter, Jane Rosenau, Nettie Rosenthal, David Eric Rosenthal, Sheila Samet,
Renee Schirach, Dorothy Schley, Ann Schultz, William Schultz, Celia Gottwert Schwartz, Leo Benjamin Schwartz, Barnett Seide, Edna Siegel, Ida Shear, Peggy Simon, Rose Wank Simons, Mary Sosnowitz, Boris Suckman, Henrietta Henny Witzer, and Stanley Zeskind. We also honor and remember all those who died in the Shoah, the Holocaust, those American servicemen and women who gave their lives for our freedom, all who died defending the state of Israel, and all who have died in the conflicts since. We rise together as a congregational community for the words of Mourner's Kaddish. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, v'alma divrach reutei v'amlich malchutei, v'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uv'izman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'alam u'lalmei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yit hadar v'yit aleh v'yit halal shmeid kudesha brichu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tush b'chata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen.
Oseh shalom b'imromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru amen.
You may be seated. We have many things coming up very soon, and I want to make sure you know about all of them. So there's a holiday that begins next Wednesday, but that we start celebrating tomorrow. So, and yeah, Jeremy's got it. Everyone get your groggers out. So, Tot Shabbat Purim is tomorrow at 9:30 here at Temple Beth El. Outside if the weather manages to hold out, inside if the weather doesn't manage to hold out. On Sunday, we have a Purim family craft at 10 a.m. Come with your family. We'll have a couple of grogger making and additional activities, and then you can use your groggers at 11 a.m. for Reality Bites the Megillah, a totally 90s Purim spiel, which I was made for. I want to just tell you that at the 4th to 6th grade retreat, we had a whole group of 4th graders who performed at the talent show. They called themselves the Front Street Boys. I don't think they knew that the Backstreet Boys were a thing in my lifetime. They really thought they were sharing new music with me. It was pretty great. On Wednesday, the actual night of Purim, I will be at Old Mecklenburg Brewery from 6:30 to 8:30, and if you'd like to fulfill the mitzvah of raising a glass to Purim, please come and join me. I will be there anyway, and if I'm by myself, it'll be a little weirder, so you should all come hang out with me. This Saturday, before we even get to Sunday, we have a service of healing led by our Rabbi and Cantor Emeriti, Cantor Bernard and Rabbi Judy Schindler. That will be on Zoom, and they'll be focused on healing with hearts focused on Ukraine and the wisdom of Reb Nachman, who is from what is now present-day Ukraine, to help guide that healing. Next Sunday, Shalom Green kicks off its community garden workdays, and Temple Beth El is actually partnering on this first community garden workday. So we invite you to sign up and get your hands a little dirty and do some planting and growing with the Shalom Green folks. And we also have our Israel Scholar in Residence weekend coming up, the weekend of April 1st and 2nd, 2 Shabbat evening services and a number of other learning opportunities with our guest Dr. Ken Stein. We're very, very excited and hope you'll check out the calendar and get some of those events onto your calendar as well. And with that, we will close out our evening as we begin with the words of Olam Chesed Yibana, praying for a world built of peace.
Olam Chesed Yibane, yalalai, yalai, yalalalai. 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 I will build this world from love, yalalai, lalai, yalalalai. And you must build this world from love, yalalai, yalai, yalalalai. And if we build this world from love, yalalai, yalai, yalalalai, then God will build this world from love, yalalai, yalai, yalalalai.
Shabbat Shalom. I forgot to tell you there's brownies right over there. So if you have a few moments and you'd like to meet some of these faces that you may or may not have ever seen before, we invite you to head into the David Silverman Social Hall for Oneg.